Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rene and this is a channel where you can learn a little bit about the movements of tango, especially during this time. That's the reason why we're doing the lessons through these videos. There is a collection of them. If this is your first time here, please go back to a few lessons backwards and you're going to realize how this has been developing into what is the lesson today. It's not a casual lesson. We have been building things from a few weeks ago. So if you have any question, go back, try to practice a little bit what we have been doing lately. For you that you have been following and supporting and been with us all this almost a year that we have been doing this. We're going to, in a few months, we're going to happen to celebrate a year that we're doing this. So if you have been here before, you know what is coming. Today, before I start, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your constant support. These efforts that we have been doing in order to keep the community connected, the community doing more tango, is only effective with that help. So for that, thank you so very much. And we want to also wish you a wonderful year. I know that the past year was not something that we would like to come back ever in our lives, but it had to happen. So we're just going to move on and keep going forward. Like a good dancer, just looking forward to what we are going to do next. Well, today is the day when we are going to try to put together a collection of steps. In order to make it a little bit easier, because this is an exercise that we as leaders need to have in our mind, I want to remind you of, before I start doing the exercises, I want to remind you something that is very, very important. Now we have to be careful of what we are going, which direction we're going. Every time that I am explaining the steps, I'm always showing you the direction that I'm taking. In tango, we always go counterclockwise. That means that I am always going to try to go counterclockwise, avoiding the center of the space, the center of the room, the center of the ballroom. And I'm going to try to always remain with my right side closer to the walls or the chairs or the tables, okay? That is extremely important. We are going to practice with, I simplified it for you. We're going to do 10 movements that I want you to remember. But this is just an exercise. Eventually, and I'm going to give you also some exercises for you to do at some point. You can change the order of these elements. The reason why I'm doing the collection is to give you the ability to go around the room in a fluid way, in a way that you're never stopping thinking, what am I going to do now? Okay? This is going to help you move around without hesitation, without stopping, let's say that way. For the ladies, this exercise, although even if you're practicing at home all by yourself, this exercise is going to help you understand how these steps are being produced by the leader and what is the consequence of that lead. Like I just said, for the leaders, it's not that you have to learn by heart everything that is going to happen exactly that same way, but again, this is going to help you a little bit to understand what the leader expects from you when you're doing certain things or when you feel certain other things. Before I start, I want to remind you that it's very, very important in tango in general, to remain connected. I, of course, I'm all the time giving instructions to the leaders and then to the followers, but the reason why we dance tango is because we are trying to use our body language in order to communicate something. So I know that in these times of this health crisis, that sounds very confusing, because we are not able to be together using our body language, or probably we are in a distance, right? But the thing here is that I want you to understand that when you dance with another person, you have to create this conversation. You have to use your body language, and that means that we have to, in a way, exaggerate our movements. So those movements are precise. Precise in a way that they are clear for the other person to understand. Not only as a leader, which is very important, but also as a follower. And I'm going to explain a little bit more about that later. So, the first exercise that I would like you to do, gentlemen, is to remember the steps. So, I'm going to start in this corner, and I'm going to try to navigate, okay? So the first exercise that we're doing is the collection that we did 2 weeks ago. We're going to do a sacada. Well, actually, if I count the syncopation, I'm going to do a syncopation, a sacada, a boleo, and a gancho, okay? Oh, very important. Before we start, the music that you're listening to in the background is the music of Carlos Di Sarli. The reason why I chose that music is because it's very quiet. It's a very elegant. Carlos Di Sarli's music was very energetic, but it has a very rhythmical way, and the melody matches perfectly with his beat. There's no time when we are left to our own devices. It's always very rhythmical. So that is also an exercise that I would like you to do. You're going to probably find the link below to this collection of music that I am using for this lesson. And I want you to really listen to the music while you're dancing. So what does that mean? How can I practice this? First, don't go fast. The idea is that you can read boom, 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 boom. It's a little bit like the beat of your heart. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to try to work with that, and I'm going to be repeating that all the time during the lesson. So, I'm going to do syncopation, sacada, boleo, and gancho. In this, I don't know how much space I'm going to use, but I'm going to try to do it. Pam, 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 pam. You have seen it's not complicated. We already have done this. So I'm doing side step, 1, 2, sacada, boleo immediately, gancho immediately, boleo again. She finishes in 5 or forward ocho, and I'm finishing 6, 7, and 8. We're not going to finish there yet, but I am showing you the little part. So we are doing 3 things. Just here, we're moving very nicely. Now, when you dance, try to repeat to yourselves, pam, pam. Try to follow that beat that I'm asking you to listen to. Pam, 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 Bam, 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 bam. Okay? If I do it with the sticks, this is going to look a little bit like this. I'm going to do it very slow so you can see what's happening. We don't need the sticks to learn the step. We already know how to do it. Six, seven, and 8, right? So let's do it one more time. We're going to do side 1, 2, 3, boleo, gancho, boleo. Now I want to pay attention here. Before we finish, my dance partner is taking a forward ocho. But what would happen if I don't want to stop there? She's following me perfectly, so why don't I just invite her to do a molinete? 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's add that. Very slow motion. If you have noticed, even though I am adding a step, that doesn't mean that I'm using more space. Instead of going and finishing my steps, I'm using that same spot that I have been using, okay? So very quickly, let's start. Boom, 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 boom. When I try to tell you how to do it with the music, that not necessarily means that you have to go beat by beat. If you cannot follow beat by beat, try to go, let's say, I'm going to, when the palm of my hand is down, I'm going to actually be walking. What does that mean? Bam, 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 bam. If you're dancing with that rhythm, I mean not that precisely rhythm, but taking your time, let's say, bam, 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 bam. At this point, because you're learning, nothing is going to come out perfectly. You have to work. You have to learn how to adapt your movements to the music. You have to learn how to adapt to the partner that you're dancing with. So this is just for practice, okay? Now, we have learned so many interesting things from the molinete. So I'm going to try to keep going. What else can happen after the molinete? I want you to keep paying attention. I do the first part. Boleo, gancho, boleo again, molinete, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gancho. Okay? If I isolate what I'm doing, when I'm going to be in front of you for now, when I do the molinete that has 5 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to step together with her, and I'm going to lower my body on that side so she stretches her leg, her right leg, and create a gancho on that leg. Okay? So now that you understand perfectly what I'm doing, I'm going to try to go a little bit with the music. And I'm going to sing how I'm dancing. Pam, 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 pam. Because for now, I'm trying to explain how I'm developing the steps. I don't want you to pay attention of the way that I am exiting. However, if you're good already with the movements, check out how every time that I am finishing, I'm adding some steps. Look all the steps that I'm doing. The thing is that you collect all these little things for to use in the future, just for the sake of it. Okay. Now, during this set of steps that we're doing, I want you to pay attention, like not so much at the repetition by itself, but what is happening, how you're moving around. What happens if I find the wall here, or there's another couple? How can I keep doing that in that same way? For example, if, let's say, there is somebody right behind, I keep going back ochos. Nothing is, I'm going to wait until they have, they move and leave me the space. And then when they move, I keep going with the plan that I have. If there is no way here to go, or there is like another couple here, I play. There is space now. So here, what I would like you to pay attention, leaders, is that there is always a possibility that the plans are going to be changed. Not, I mean, although you have everything in mind, that you have your 10 steps perfectly designed in your head, I mean, not in your hair, you are going to be able to find that at some point, everything, your list is going to be crumbled to pieces, because something is going to happen in the dance floor that is not going to help you very much to follow that set that you have prepared. So that is what we call improvisation in tango. You have to learn that when something happens, you in a very nice and elegant way, you keep dancing and keep flowing, not just with your dance partner, but with the whole group. Sometimes it's inevitable. Sometimes you're going to hit another couple, and that is going to create a disturbance to your dance partner, to you. Sometimes it's going to be your fault, sometimes it's not going to be your fault. But remember, when that happens, you make a stop, you said, I'm sorry, you apologize, you make sure that everybody is safe, that nobody has been injured, and you keep moving. Okay? That's the courtesy that we have to respect while we're dancing tango. So, what else can we go after? Can we do after that gancho that I did with my left leg? I'm going to keep going. All the time singing. Pam, 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 bam, 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 bam. What did I do there? I did a parada and I switched the direction of my dance partner and I finished with a barrida. Let's do it again, a little bit slower so you can see. I'm going to just, in order to practice and show you this exercise to you, I'm going to come back a little bit towards the camera, but ideally I want you to always touch, almost touch with your shoulder the walls. So I go and do the sacada, boleo, gancho, boleo. I start my molinete, 2, 3, 4, 5, gancho. After I do the gancho, it's like I am creating a back ocho again. So I'm going to take advantage of that and I'm going to place my foot as if I would be doing a sandwich, but I'm not going to do a sandwich. I come here, we have learned this a few weeks ago, and then I'm going to switch her direction. I switch her weight. I switch the direction again. I play a little bit. I do barrida and finish 6, 7, and 8 for now. All these steps, once again, you already know. All we're doing is placing them together. So if, for example, if you got till here, but if the barrida is kind of like not setting in, just practice up until here and keep repeating that. If this is a piece of cake for you, then let's move on and keep doing it. It's very simple. Bam, slow motion, sacada, boleo, gancho, boleo. I prepare the molinete. Bam, bam. After 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, I prepare that leg to go to the gancho. And then after I do this part, take your time. The lady needs to know that we're planning something. So I'm telling her, by making the parada, I'm telling her, wait for me. I'm going to do something very cool. And I go around her. And then I make her, to me, doing this is like I'm playing with her. I'm telling her we're going to have fun. Where am I going to go? Can you guess? And then I tell her, we're going this way. Okay? So, I'm going to leave the sticks for a little bit in order to show you how the movement is going just doing by myself. As you can, I didn't want to talk because I want you to pay attention to what I was doing. When I do the exercise, I'm paying attention a little bit with the music and I'm not rushing. There's no need to rush it. If you need to think at some point, make your movement slow and elegant. If you still are struggling, you can make a repetition. Like for example, if you're caught in something and you don't know how to do, keep doing back arches. And while you're doing the back arches, think, what can I do? If you cannot think of anything else, keep walking and restart from zero. That is going to help you build a little bit that strength, okay? Now we're going to try to keep moving, and we're going to do something that we just did. It's fresh in our heads. We're going to add that to these exercises that we're doing. So first, in slow motion, I keep repeating what I've been doing. Molinete, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When I'm thinking of the fifth, I'm already preparing my left leg to do the gancho. I stop, I take my time. I move completely around her. I make her switch her weight. See? If I am going to my right, I'm asking her to go to her left. And so forth, as if we are in a mirrored image. I do a barrida. And instead of just finishing the step here, what can I do here? I'm going to lock her with my arm. Her left foot is already forward, and I'm going to do a walking cabecita. Boom, 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 and finish. 6, 7, and 8. We're going to keep walking in something that we partially did last week, but I wanted, as I promised you, I wanted to do this exercise with a lot of exercises, with a lot of steps within them, so you can practice at home. So you can see how fun is to all of a sudden combine all these exercises that we're doing. So one more time, now more towards the beat of the music. You can tell that although I keep adding more and more steps, I'm doing everything in just this little piece of space. So I want you to try to do that. We're 8 steps already in our set. So what else can we do after that walking? If you have noticed, I played a little bit with her legs as we have learned to do that. So make sure that you don't miss that opportunity to play with her legs. So I'm going to move forward and add a little bit of another step after that. For once again, whenever I'm not talking, I just want you to appreciate what I am doing with the music. That was like making you look whatever is happening with my legs. Now I'm going to explain what I am adding at the end. We're adding a syncopation and we're adding an ocho cortado. That, if you have any doubt, go back 5 lessons before this one and you're going to find these exercises if you're not familiar with that. So I go, bam, sacada, boleo, gancho, boleo, forward ocho, molinete, another gancho, parada. I play with her, switching her direction. At the end, I'm going to do a barrida. But before finishing the barrida, I block her upper body and invite her to walk, try kind of like a march around me. I play. At the very end, when I am ready to keep going, I prepare, and after she walks with her left leg, I'm going to make sure that it's like I'm finishing for the salida. Then I'm going to do a syncopation with my left leg, and then ocho cortado to keep going. Okay? So what we're adding is syncopation, 1, 2, 3. Don't forget, in the syncopation, as a leader, all I'm doing is 1, 2, 3, and then I'm moving my upper body like somebody's calling me from behind. 1, 2, 3. Very, very simple. I'm going to do just that part. Side step, forward, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So, and in order to finish this properly, nice, elegant, because we're dancing to the music of Carlos Di Sarli, which is very, very elegant. So I'm going to exit with a cross system step. Look how I'm going to do it. Very slow. I'm not going to talk too much. Let's wait for the next song because this is coming to an end already. And here we go. That was extremely slow. Now I'm going to explain what I'm doing. Here we don't need more explanations. Sacada, boleo, sacada, boleo, gancho, boleo, prepare my molinete, prepare the gancho, parada, switch of directions, barrida. I keep moving her forward. I play with her. Ja, 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 ja. Whenever I am ready to keep going, I bring her in front of me, syncopation, ocho cortado. And see, after this, I'm going to make her step with the right leg a little bit, and then I'm going to keep going with my left, chasing her left. In, out, out, in, cross, 6, 7, and 8, which is the cross system step, which is fantastic to keep moving. This is not only an exercise that I want you to practice, but also it has to be practical. We're doing a set of steps. We cannot use that same step for too long. So at the end, I'm making you move a little bit faster, so you move together with the whole group, all the people that are dancing in the milonga in the social event. Okay, so that's the reason why at the end I want you to walk a little bit. So if I do that together with the music, I'm going to just dance. That completes our set of steps for now. Okay, if I'm going to let the sticks rest for a bit. If I want to practice this without the sticks, remember, pam, ram, pam, pam, boleo, gancho, boleo, forward ocho, and molinete. 1, 2, 3. Make her leg come around you. Parada. You go here. And then you play. Barrida. You keep going with her. Play with her. Ocho cortado. I let her walk with her right leg and my left is ready to go. Look how I'm disassociating. Boom. Out, out, in, cross. 6, 7, and 8. With one step, which is the last one, it's not just one step, it's a set of steps doing the cross system. I'm walking the same, I'm using the same space to do so many elements in this side. Okay, so in a way, I would like when you deconstruct this organization that I'm giving you, sometimes you can fit this last part after your first step. If you have enough room in front of you, why not use this first here and then do the rest of your the steps that we practiced today later on. That's what I am aiming for you to, I'm giving you everything very organized. Don't feel afraid to disorganize. Move the elements. What happens if I put this first and this later? Okay? In terms of improvisation, when there is something that it's not in your plans, always think, okay, what am I doing? Am I walking? If I cannot walk any longer, stop. After the stop, where is your weight? Oh, I can go back probably. If I'm walking forward, see? Oh, something is going. I'm going to switch my weight from one foot and then I'm going to see if I can walk back. If I walk back, my dance partner is going a forward step. So I'm going to make sure that her forward step is with her left foot, and then I can bring her towards me. Okay, so it's not just doing this all the time. There are possibilities. If all of a sudden I am going to a back ocho and I see that there is no space to keep going, what can I do from a back ocho? That is something that you need to start practicing in your head. What comes after the back ocho? Oh, I can do a sandwich. That is going to give me time. So the route is clear. What happens if I am doing a forward ocho and something happens? What can I do after a forward ocho? Oh, wait a second, I can make probably a barrida. Okay? So it's not the end of the world if something breaks or stops the fluidity of the steps that you're doing, whichever they are. It can be these exercises, it can be some other exercises, but there is something that you can do to follow that fluidity, to follow that line of dance, how can I say, current that is taking you all the time, okay? So that's enough for you leaders. You have a lot of think and practice, especially practice with this set of steps that we practiced today. Now, let me jump directly to the followers. So for the followers, it's very important that although I'm asking you to practice this in a mental way more than only physical, I want you to also remember that the leader is the one that's leading. The leader has the control over the movement, the direction. There are some interesting ways to communicate to the leader that he probably is not following the music, or that he's not probably following the direction. But in general, I would like you to practice, at least to practice the giving up control, and go with the leader. He might be leading you to something wrong, but try to go with it and try to make it as beautiful as you can possibly imagine, or at least as beautiful as you can possibly can. That is going to help not only your side of dancing, you're going to make everything look more interesting, more aesthetical, more, beautiful. So, in the first part, I'm going to keep going up until the molinete, because you have been watching and you have been doing. Probably you were looking at yourselves, kind of like when I was using the sticks. So your sense of rhythm is here. So 1, 2, sacada. When you're going to do the boleo, don't try to fall with your steps. The more that you elongate your legs when you're going back, the more you're going to feel the boleo. This boleo is happening very quick, so don't ta pa 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 gancho boleo. And then after this forward ocho, the leader is taking you around him. Okay? When you're doing that molinete, it's very important that you think of your elbows and the direction of your feet. You cannot walk towards the leader. This step is going to prevent your foot from pivoting, and then because your feet are not going to feel that pivot, you're going to keep going like this without doing any disassociation. Make sure that you're taking care of that part. Okay? Now, I'm asking the leaders to be creative, to do certain things. What happens if the leader doesn't lead you the boleo, but keeps dancing? Let's do this, see? He skips the boleo here, and then he leads into the molinete. And probably and then he remembers that he has to do another gancho. Okay, so I want you to feel prepared to, like I asked the leaders, sometimes the other couples are not going to allow them to follow this very nice set of steps that I'm asking them to do. And sometimes you're going to feel that in the leader, his body is going to say, oh, change of plans, I'm going to do something else. So work with that change. He's going to change something. Let your body move in a nice way. Don't tense up. Don't, I was supposed to do this. Or the choreography said that we were doing this. Here, we are not doing any choreographies. We're trying to develop that sense of improvisation, which is very important in tango. Now, I'm going to keep adding the exercises that we were doing in slow motion. The leader is doing a sacada here. Don't panic. Let your leg flow in that boleo. Gancho. Another boleo. Take your time. I'm going to explain that a little bit later, but for now, let's do molinete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After this fifth, the leader is going to go down. That means that your right leg is relaxed and stretched. We're going to do a back ocho, and here he's going to make you stop. If the leader stops you, allow that to happen. Don't try to collect your feet. Don't try to move with your feet. First, explore with your upper body what he has in mind. So when you feel that he's moving, don't move immediately. Allow him to go. And then he's going to move you. Barrida. And after that, he's going to lock your back and he's going to make you walk. When you're walking here around the leader, this is the exercise that we did last week. Make sure that you are walking under your elbow. You're just walking forward, but walk elegantly. Your torso is together with the leader, but your hips are 90 degrees off the leader. So, bam, bam. Here, I'm asking the leaders to play with you. With the other leg. After this, the leader is making you feel that he's going to finish, but he does syncopation, ocho cortado. Once again, syncopation, ocho cortado. I want to remind you, when you're doing the ocho cortado is not something that happens like a soldier and on the side of the leader. The ocho cortado is a circular movement that is happening around the leader. So it's something like this. See, I'm going here, I go around the leader, I'm pivoting, I keep going around the leader, and then I come back. So always think in a circularity. Always think that the couple, you and your dance partner, is locked in a cylinder. You never go on the side, like if you would be locked in a rectangle. You always are going around. Okay, so you have seen. Now this is very easy for you to retain because you're not doing too many things. The leaders have to design how they're going to lead. You're just enjoying the movement. For that same reason, I'm asking you, your job, more than thinking what is going to happen or what is happening, is to make elongation. Try to work very hard in your technical part, which is what is at the end is going to make you do your steps more beautifully. Stretch. Bum, 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 bum. I missed the. Let's do it again. Bum, 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 bum. At the very end, I'm asking the leaders to do a basic cross system step. For you, for the followers, it is not that, it doesn't contain any different way of doing things. For you, it's just a longer step, like you do in the basic. You're walking back, and at some point you're going to feel how the leader crosses your feet. Let me explain there. You just finished to do the syncopation and the ocho cortado. Syncopation, ocho cortado. After this, you're going to feel how the leader makes you step with your right foot. And from here, you're going to count 8 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So there is no side step in this set of 8 at the end. It's just walking forward, crossing 6, 7, 8. I'm just explaining that a little bit so you can have an idea of what is going to happen. But in reality, what I would like you to do is to be a little bit connected. Not a little bit, a lot connected with the leader to whatever he's doing, and go with it. Not everything, like I said earlier to the leader, not everything is going to be perfect. Actually, there's going to be a lot of things that are not going to be understood at first. There's going to be a lot of things that you're not going to be able to follow, things that are not going to be clear. But the more you practice, you're going to feel like it's actually more interesting to take care of your technical part rather than trying to control the movement yourself. You're not in control of the movement. You're kind of like a consequence of what the leader is doing. When you think about that, you enhance the possibilities of your own movements and the outcome of those movements. Okay? So it's not, I don't want to, I think that the part of the followers requires a lot of energy. You're actually doing a lot of work. You're walking around the leader. You're moving your body in a more energetical way. But at the same time, you have noticed that I am adding elements that if I don't know how to keep my axis aligned in just one foot, I would not be able to do so. So what are these elements? In the first part, after the voleo, I'm letting my leg go as if that leg does not belong to me. And at the end, only at the end, when the leader is inviting me from here to go over his foot, or probably his foot is collected, to keep going, I'm going to feel the music of Carlos Di Sarli. I'm not asking the leaders to wait for you there. You are stealing that from the moment. See? If you arrive, pa, ra, pa, pa. That, if that is happening when I'm dancing with you, I'm, in a way, it's your way as a follower to tell me, look what I'm doing. I'm going with the music. Just wait for me for a second. It's not that I'm going to hang out there waiting for you. It's just like, don't move while I'm doing this. And then I'm going to be like, wow, that was cool. Okay? So in order to do that, my weight is completely on my right foot. And as a pendulum, my leg moves. So as a pendulum, and at the end, I lift my knee, my hip, and my heel. I lower my knee and my foot, and I keep walking. Before I do the gancho, I'm going to move a little bit here. Take your time, because you're going to feel that the leader is lowering you. So take your time, elongate that leg, and you can go because once again, it's not that we're dancing D'Arienzo, that the leader is going to try to go fast. That's the reason why I chose Carlos Di Sarli, because it has a lot of melody. So you can do a very nice planeo when you're going in, and after the gancho, another planeo to play with it, okay? When you're done, I'm going to do it here so you can see, he is making a stop. Then he's switching your direction. Here you can kick towards your elbow. After the barrida, let that happen. You know that you're going to walk. Elongate your steps. If you walk like this, it looks like this. So make sure that you're elongating. The more you elongate, you're going to be able to at the very end, when you're doing the ocho cortado, don't forget that you can still, because you're doing a pivot here, you can play with your feet. And at the very end, when you're doing the walking part, you can always go. You don't have to do it all the time, but practice a little bit. Okay, I'm going to count my steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So that is a very interesting way of dancing. Now, I like that way of telling you that you have that possibility, but in the end is your choice as a follower. There is nothing written in stone. If you don't feel comfortable doing all these things that I'm asking you to do, don't do them. If you think that it's too much, that it's like too flashy, don't do them. But the thing here is that the way that you're moving your body, it has to have the technical skills. If you just want to do your part as a follower and don't add anything to the dance, you can still do that, but you have to make sure every time that you go back, elongate. Make sure that you're using the muscles in your glutes. The muscles in your legs are almost, I feel like I am making them grow because I'm stretching as far as I can. After I walk backwards, what is happening is that I am doing boleo. The boleo is never going to come nicely if my leg is not completely elongated. If I am doing the boleo like this and I do this, my leg shrinks all of a sudden. So the more I elongate, the more that leg is going to look nice and long. Even when you're walking forward, because at some point you're doing molinete, your forward step is elongated. Every time that you walk, you're trying to make sure that there is a line. I mean, there are two lines. Boom, boom, boom. When you go back, the same thing. When you go to the side, see? I can never go to the side just like this. I have to make sure I'm going a little bit down, I'm elongating and switch my weight, and then I can continue. Okay? I always say this: if you take the risk of doing an embellishment, then everything is going to come to you a little bit more natural. If you don't, a lot of you love the embellishments, and then the reality is that you never use them. So I want to make sure that if you like them, try to keep doing them. Of course, it's not going to come clean the first time or the second or the probably first 100 times, but if you keep doing and repeat and make that movement part of how your body reacts, then when you're dancing, it's going to feel like part of you, okay? But once again, in this, the use of the embellishment is basically something that you choose to do. Nobody is forcing you. You're enhancing the movement. From my own perspective, I love it, but at the same time, I want you to understand that the embellishments are like your jewelry. Use them scarcely and make them match with whatever is happening. Don't overdo. If you all of a sudden try to do too many things at the same time, imagine going to a very nice and elegant event and wearing pearls, diamonds, gold, silver, and cheap jewelry all at the same time. So instead of enhancing your beauty, it's going to feel a little bit weird. So you don't want that to happen. You want that everybody is like, oh, you look so beautiful. Something is like making you look more beautiful, and that is probably your teeny tiny embellishment here and there. And about that, there are many moments that we leaders also can embellish, and that is because the music sometimes it's inviting me to do something. Sometimes it happens at the very end of the tango, bam, bam, or I don't know, chan, chan. It's something that sometimes what I'm trying to say is sometimes we don't have the control about that, it just happens. So in order to feel that, in order to find those moments when you're dancing, I want to encourage you, never stop listening to the music. And listen to the music not only when you're practicing, not only when you're doing your homework, but listen to the music when you're not thinking about moving your body. Just listen, like when you're walking, listen when you're just, listen when you're reading in the background. Your brain is going to start to, because tango has a repetition of beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. That repetition, at least in my brain, wants to create certain things. What can I do with this repetition? Okay? And of course, we still dance the same music that was created 80 years ago. So most of the time, we're familiar with what songs we are dancing to. So it's very interesting that at some point you already know what is going to happen with the music, and then you can fit your embellishments in the right moment. That, once again, is not a requirement, but it helps you with a lot of different factors. So listening music, tango music, is always beneficial to whatever exercise you're doing, with your mind, with your body, with your technical skills, with everything. So keep listening to tango. Of course, by doing these exercises, there is a lot of footwork. I don't want to waste time today explaining what your feet have to do. If you have any doubt, go back to if you have any doubt about any of these steps, go back, look for that particular step. All the steps are named in the description of this video. So it's going to, and usually what I do is I put the names of the steps in the description below, so you always can find what you're looking for. So go back, look for them, go back, and you're going to find a lot more explanation there. But for now, we are trying to collect, we're making all this exercise work in a very small area. So that is going to help you develop your dancing, okay? So that would be the lesson for today. Don't forget that this coming week, the next Sunday, we're going to have Emiliano and Leandro. They are going to be talking about and teaching us about the history of tango, but not only in a very cold historical full of details, but they are also going to explain us why tango happened in a musical way. So it's going to be very interesting. I am looking forward to it. Please contact me, send me an email, rene_f_davila@yahoo.com, or call me, send me a text to ask me how to register for these lessons. And it's going to be 3 lessons, and the cost of the 3 lessons is only $40. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Emiliano will be explaining the music together with his piano, and Leandro is going to navigate through history with us and teach us a lot of interesting things. The workshops, like I said, they start next week, which is Sunday the 10th. So make sure you register before that date, okay? And tonight we have our virtual milonga. Everybody's welcome, so I hope I see you there in a little bit. Thank you so very much. See you in a bit.